Hey, I want to do a video. I want to do a video on the topic of ungodly advice. Ungodly advice. And basically, I want to bring up several, off the top of my head, a number of situations where people in the Bible have followed or accepted ungodly advice. Okay, so any advice. Do you know they said that the Nazis, Hitler actually held seances, that he basically consulted with spirits. I mean, that's pretty deep, considering that the atrocities that they committed, that they made concentration camps. Okay. So that they made all this jails or concentration camps to house people. And that is pretty serious. So it makes me wonder, like, what are those people, that nation of Nazis, that would do that to people, that would consult spirits, and to have these spirits tell them how to treat their brother, and basically make concentration camps and just completely, terminate. We need to be on a watch of what happened to those Nazis, where are they today, and what are they doing now. And anybody who does anything that is very Nazi-ish. Now, I think that change and things like that we have to be mindful. We just lost, one of the greatest people who represents love in the world. We just lost him, and now we've gotten one of the holiest people telling us that we need a new world government. Things don't happen. Things do not happen without reason, okay? There's definitely a sequence of events afoot. So let me continue to say, ungodly advice. Okay, there was a King Saul. King Saul took ungodly advice. He literally, first thing, he didn't do what God told him to do. And then second thing, he went and raised the spirit. He went to the woman in Delphi, one of those oracles and stuff like that, and raised the spirit, of Samuel, disturbed him from his peace, to ask him about a battle that he wanted to fight. And merely for the fact that he did that, God told him that he sealed his fate. Matter of fact, the woman at Delphi didn't even want to do this. When she knew it was forbidden to raise spirits. The king forbade it. And being as such, this was a king in disguise, and he told her to do it. And when the spirits told her that was Saul, when she realized that it was Saul, a king, she knew that she was going to be put to death. So this was even bad advice, knew better than this, This was just bad advice. This wasn't when nobody was going to gain nothing from this. You know, nobody. So Saul and his son died on the battlefield. Okay. Let me tell you another situation. King David, his son, one of his sons, raped one of his daughters. Now, the way they had the juxtaposed and stuff like that, you know, their family structure was a little different because they had multiple wives. So one of his sons raped more than likely his stepsister. Okay. So, but before he did it, he asked for some advice, counsel. He asked for some counsel from one of his companions, his friends. I forgot his name, but he asked the guy how you know, he knowing that he was so lovesick over this woman. He said, well, how can I have her? How can I have his sister? And the guy advised him, have her cook some meals and stuff for you. And when she cooks the food for you, you know, up in the room, pretend you're sick. First thing, pretend you're sick. Like our economy, right? Pretending we sick when really it's some real rich folks up. We ain't that bad off. You know, you know, Michael Jackson was going to give a concert and everybody was going. You know, it didn't matter if it was $75 a ticket. You know, we not that bad off. You know. So he told her to pretend that you're sick, and supposedly we're supposed to be getting better now, right? And so here we have a situation where the Pope is telling us that we need a new world order. Okay, the same thing that Bush has been pushing, skull and bones. You know. Anyway, let me fill my story. I hate to talk against the Pope, you know. But it does say somewhere, I mean, Nostradamus, I don't know if it's in the Bible, but Nostradamus, if you watch that, they'll say that, you know, the Antichrist is supposed to come from the Pope. Okay, that's supposed to be the Antichrist. Okay, so, and, okay, it's all over TV, don't get mad at me. Anyway, why is my collar up? This is not cool. It's an accident. Anyway, so anyhow, so speaking of which, bad advice. So he lays in wait for the girl, and he rapes his sister, and then because of it, he gets driven out, and it just caused all kind of disruption. You know, then his brother turns on him and murders him, and then you know, just from this one little thing, you know, this one little thing causes. So his brother turns on him, murders him, and then he divides up David's kingdom, and then David has to leave his own kingdom because he doesn't want to kill his own son. I saw the movie. Anyway. Bad advice, folks. Bad advice. Be careful of accepting and listening to bad advice. There are several other situations where people have, you know, tried to solve a problem, but instead of going to God, they went to the wrong thing. They'll try, you know, they talk about spirits and stuff. I got into a little interesting video and conversation with Fearless, and he talked about reading tarot cards and stuff like that, going to these spirits. And so the bad part about it is that, you know, these things have a religious on their own. So a new world order or any new religion, you know, people don't understand that, you know, and especially when you think about, you know, like the Pope has protected these homosexuals, that these priests have been raping these boys, and he has not said nothing. You know, he's allowed this thing to happen. They have moved cardinals and bishops around. It's just infested with homosexuality. And really, priests aren't supposed to be by themselves. The only reason why they did that, because God said man should not be alone. And so what happens is then you get a bunch of homosexuality starting, and people abusing their authority and power. And really the only reason why a priest or the Catholic priest would do is because people didn't want to pay for it. People didn't want to raise a family. You know, bishops like Baptists, you know, they have families, and ministers, they have families. A man is supposed to have a family, you know, in general, you know. The only reason why the Catholic Church don't have that, and why homosexuality is run rapid in it, is because they were too cheap to pay for the families. The people didn't want it, so they signed it into law. So they signed these bad things into law, and then they reap the repercussions of it. So, you know, be mindful. Time is winding it up, folks. Get your business straight. Jesus is the light of the world. He's the one and only true God, forever and ever.